Nothing is making sense to me right now. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you've had a great week. To all of my house guests, welcome. Make yourselves at home, make yourselves comfortable. If you're visiting my channel for the first time and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i, welcome to my place. House rules. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm in the car. It is cold, hence all my layers. I'm wrapped up nice and tight. Can you see how cold it is? I've got a couple more errands to run and I need to get something to eat. It's Friday afternoon, it's going up to 5 o'clock. I'm doing this quick intro, so I'm not going to talk too much except to say this week has been absolutely crazy in the UK. Nothing is making sense to me right now. I don't know if it's going to make sense to you, but let's get into this video. So January 2023 saw the release of Harry's memoir Spare, which gave the media enough material to dissect and shred to pieces. However, despite them trying to rubbish this book, according to Guinness World Records, Spare became the fastest selling non-fiction book of all time on the date of its release. Fast forward to January 2024 and we are told of the release of another book by someone by the name of Robert Hardman, who apparently is a royal expert. Now someone's going to have to help me with this title because it's not clear what it's called. According to the Washington Post, it's called This, and according to other publications, it's called This. So it's not clear to me if it's the same book or two different books published in the same month. So I defer to the greater knowledge of my esteemed house guests and would be grateful if you could let me know what this book is called. In any case, out of all the claims made in this book, the one that appears to have got people whipped up into a frenzy is the author's claim that Harry and Meghan did not ask Queen Elizabeth's permission to name their daughter Lilibet, the Queen's nickname, as a child. These people never have a day off, do they? As public figures, Harry and Meghan know that they are forensically scrutinised 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also know that the media will do their level best to distort the public's perception of them at every single opportunity. So do you honestly think that Harry and Meghan wouldn't have brought this to the Queen's attention to get her blessing? This article in Town and Country magazine, published in October 2021, doesn't seem to suggest the Queen had a problem with this. So the article is headed, "Which members of the royal family are named after the Queen?" The Queen gave her only daughter Elizabeth as a middle name, and several of her grandchildren and great-grandchildren also bear the name. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle named their daughter Lilibet, it was the first time that the Queen's childhood nickname had been used by any of her descendants. However, little Lily, as she will be known, is by no means the first baby in the royal family to be named after her world-famous great-grandmother. We take a look at who is named after the Queen, as well as who she is named after. The article then goes on to list the names of those who predated Queen Elizabeth II. And this last paragraph I'm going to read, it says, amongst the Queen's great-granddaughters, the picture is similar, with 5 out of her 7 great-granddaughters bearing her name: Isla Elizabeth Phillips, Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, Lena Elizabeth Tyndall, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, and now Sienna Elizabeth Mapelli Mozzi. Then we jump ahead 13 months later to the 27th of November 2022, when this article was published by the Daily Mail, and the headline reads, "The Queen took Harry and Meghan calling their daughter Lilibet as the compliment it was intended to be," new book claims. Elizabeth, an intimate portrait by Giles Brandreth, which is slated for release next month, features numerous vignettes about life inside the firm. Mr. Brandreth, who occupies a unique position as a friend and biographer of the royal family, writes about the relationship between Her Majesty and the Duke, 38, and Duchess, 41, of Sussex. The couple, who welcomed their second child on June 4, 2021, decided to call their newborn Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, now 1, in honour of the Queen, Harry's grandmother, and his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. So I want you to remember the name Giles Brandreth, because he's going to come up later on in this video. And this is in complete contradiction to what's been reported this month with this guy's book, saying that the Queen was furious. I want you to remember this. And this is why I say, make it make sense. Make it make sense, please. Now, I have a few questions. The Queen passed 16 months ago, so why wasn't Harry and Meghan's claim that they did receive the Queen's permission? Why wasn't that disputed when the Queen was alive? The member of staff who apparently witnessed the Queen's anger, do we know his or her identity? Could you make room for the possibility that Robert Hardman knows that his book is unlikely to attain the same level of sales as Spare? So this man actually thought that in order to generate some kind of interest in his book, it might be a good idea to pick on the 2-year-old mixed heritage great-granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth II. Does this make any sense to you? Because none of it makes any sense to me.
Entire conversation so utterly ridiculous. First of all, I mean, if you look at the paper, it says royal sources said Buckingham Palace was relieved and aides were celebrating. What exactly are you celebrating? First of all, the Queen does not own the name Lilibet. It predates her.
She sort of does.
She does not own. She has no complete people. Let me finish.
It's her nickname.
And yeah, my name is Shola. There are many people called Shola.
Yeah, but do you have a nickname? If your nickname,
but you're not, with respect, Shola, you're not Queen of England.
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
There's a reason for that. But the name Lilibet existed.
There is.
The name Lilibet existed before Queen Elizabeth.
All right.
And it is not about seeking permission. It is all about the fact that they have a right to name their child what they want to.
Can we just say...
They said they got her blessing.
Before you come in, just to be clear what the story is, Shola, hang on, is that the Queen is alleged to have told her aides, the only thing I own is my name, and they've taken that.
Yes. They make her sound petty and vindictive.
Shola, the whole point is they've lied. They lied because they said that they got her permission. Fact, they didn't. So if they're going to lie about something so significant,
Who do you?
Well, no, they did say
the
they got her
biographer.
permission.
The
No.
biographer.
Why would you believe this biographer over Harry and Meghan one?
I didn't.
Why
hear-
would you? Why would you
Shirley,
believe?
You have to credit.
Why would you believe this biographer?
Shola, just hold on.
Yeah.
Let Nick
you have to
complete
give
a
some
sentence.
credit to somebody who is independent, who is writing a biography. He says that the name was not given with permission. If he's right, and one will assume, most people will accept he's right, where does that leave Harry and
Okay,
Meghan?
and then
where is their credibility?
No. Well, no, where is the credibility of this person? Because when
Well,
this story first of all broke out, and with all due respect, this child was born 2 years ago, there were side-by-side reports that said the Queen was happy, all right? And, even if they did not get
was
her
a new
permission,
grandchild.
let me finish, great-grandchild. Even
Great-grandchild.
if the Queen did not give permission,
Mm-hmm.
and they informed her that they're going to name their child, that is perfectly okay. She does not own a copyright over the name Lilibet.
Let's say sometimes when you and I are getting on, I call you Shoal, right? Now that's
You?
well.
Okay.
Let's say I do, right? Whatever, and
Yeah.
then I say to all my friends, "Oh, we've had a new kid and it's called Shoal."
Yeah.
And you'd say, "Well, that's weird. Why are you giving
No, I
your
would
kid
not.
my nickname?"
No, I would not.
And I'd say, "Oh, Shola's delighted."
No, I would not.
And you'd say, "No, I don't." That's
Again,
the only
I
thing
do
I've
not
got is
own
my.
the name. This is a ridiculous conversation.
If I had a child called Shoal.
The fact that, first of all, don't bastardize my name. Just call the child Shola. But the
No, but
point
Shola's
is,
a more common
the
name.
fact that the Buckingham Palace is in any way supporting this ridiculous
because they're
story.
protecting
is
the Queen.
It is ridiculous. She's dead.
Hang on.
Isn't
The
this
issue
story-
here is,
Doesn't
wait a minute,
care.
guys. Buckingham Palace are not attacking the book, which suggests that
They're
actually
attacking
it might
Harry
be
and
true,
Meghan.
right?
No. They're attacking Harry and Meghan in order to cover up God knows what story that's going to come out about Andrew or Charles or William. This
Okay.
is ridiculous.
All right,
No,
Nick.
they are stories. Those are stories, but this isn't also a story.
It's not a credible or even
Okay,
newsworthy
you're not going to
story.
agree. All right, but
The
I
Queen
always
has
thought.
passed
So
on.
do you think?
She doesn't own
do you
the
think
name
she gave
Lilibet.
permission or not?
I don't care if she did or
No,
not.
but I'm asking you. Do you think she did or not?
I think
Do you think
maybe
the guy's
she gave-
lying?
I don't think they are, and they have no reason to lie.
Oh,
They
money,
said they got her blessing,
money and fame.
which is not necessarily
Money
the same
and
as
fame.
corruption.
Her nickname.
What money fame? Over a name?
I don't know anyone. I don't know anybody else called Lilibet.
Again, the name Lilibet predates her. It's existed before
It was
she
a
was
nickname
born.
given to her by her grandfather, George V.
So, and he did not own the name either.
no,
He didn't create
all right,
the name.
but it's like the name Shoal. It only exists because it's, right, okay.
And you can name whoever you want, Show, because that is not Shola. So it
Right,
makes a
okay, all right. It's probably a bad analogy, but it's still on...
terrible analogy.
Thank you.
So last week, most of the media got their knickers in a twist about Harry being honoured as a living legend of aviation. I say most because I was surprised to read this Guardian columnist's opinion on the matter. And in other news, a new portrait of Charles has been commissioned, and an £8 million scheme to have this portrait in public spaces in the UK has been proposed. Many anti-monarchists have branded this a shameful waste of money, and I have to agree. When Queen Elizabeth was alive, I remember as a school child, there was a portrait of her in school, everywhere, all the public spaces when I was growing up, and you just got used to it. This is a different era now. Do we need that? I don't think we need that anymore. You know, my concern is the government can find £8 million for a portrait of a man whose image is easily accessible, but the government can't allocate funds to feed kids who are living below the poverty line in the UK, and the only meal they have on a daily basis is when they're at school. Does any of this make sense to you? Because it definitely doesn't make any sense to me. And then in the middle of the week, this happened.
Buckingham Palace has announced that both the King and the Princess of Wales are undergoing medical treatment. King Charles is to be treated in hospital next week for an enlarged prostate, which the palace says is benign. And the Princess of Wales has undergone abdominal surgery for an undisclosed but not cancer-related condition. Catherine was admitted to hospital yesterday for her planned operation and will be recovering away from public duties until after Easter. The King's engagements are being postponed for a short time. Here's our royal editor, Chris Shipp.
It is rare to be given an update about the health of a senior member of the royal family, practically unheard of to have two in the space of 1 hour in the same afternoon. The King and the Princess of Wales will, next week, both be in hospital. This was them at Sandringham on Christmas Day. And both have cancelled a number of planned visits and engagements. Buckingham Palace issued a statement out of the blue this afternoon, which said, in common with thousands of men each year, the King has sought treatment for an enlarged prostate. His Majesty's condition is benign and he will attend hospital next week for a corrective procedure. The King's public engagements will be postponed for a short period of recuperation. The King was most recently photographed on Sunday driving to church at Balmoral. He was due to hold a meeting at Dumfries House in East Ayrshire tomorrow, but on doctor's advice, that too has been cancelled.
He's probably having a prostate operation as a keyhole type of operation, and this is an operation that many people do in high volumes, and the results are very good. So I don't think we should be unduly concerned, but of course generally it is of course concerning that our King is having to have something done.
The medical situation for the Princess of Wales, however, is very different. Kate was admitted to this private hospital in central London yesterday for what her staff will only say was abdominal surgery. She will not be out of here for some time. Today's other statement on royal health, then, came from Kensington Palace. It said, the surgery was successful and it is expected that she will remain in hospital for 10 to 14 days before returning home to continue her recovery. Based on the current medical advice, she is unlikely to return to public duties until after Easter. It is a long period of recovery for Kate, and her return to health will also impact Prince William. He will postpone a number of his own engagements to be around his wife and their 3 children. So, highly unusual, to put it mildly, to have medical bulletins on 2 members of the royal family in the same day. And also very unusual to get this level of detail about the King's procedure and the condition that he's had. Now, we're told by royal sources that he wanted it shared and he gave permission for his condition to be shared in order to encourage other men, particularly those over 50 years old, to have their prostate checked. And of course, men aren't very good at going to the GP at the best of times. I also think that had he gone to hospital next week, being a relatively new monarch and no condition or guidance was given, then it would have set all sorts of hairs running. As for Kate, she's in the hospital here. We're told that she is doing well. They've had to cancel even some international travel. They were expected to go to Italy before Easter. That's not going to happen. It does now mean, however, next week, both the King and a future Queen will be in hospital.
So a few observations here. Queen Marguerite, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, of Denmark, abdicated the throne in the last few days. At the age of 83, she became Europe's longest serving monarch after Queen Elizabeth had passed. Queen Marguerite is tired. She's had enough as far as she's concerned. She's done all she can, and I guess she just wants to live the rest of her life in freedom. Relative freedom. She's now been succeeded by her son, Crown Prince Frederick. So with Charles's health issue, and don't be surprised if there are others that we don't know about at this stage, could this be a sign that he may not be as robust as he thinks he is, and that he should now take his cue from his Danish counterpart? And when it comes to Kate, this discussion took place on This Morning, because the front page of the tabloids were dominated by the fact that her husband went to visit her in hospital, an activity that's performed every single day by millions of people across the globe.
Man visits wife in hospital, shocker. The front pages today were dominated by the fact that Prince William's being praised for visiting his wife Kate while she recovers in the hospital after a planned abdominal operation. Photos and headlines about him driving to London clinic where Kate's staying have made the front page news in the Sun, the Mirror, the Times and the Mail. However, on the cover of the same papers, Harry and Meghan being referred to as, quote-unquote, two limpets sucking nutrients out of the rusty hull of the royal yacht.
Disgusting.
I mean, yeah, what do you make of this? Is this just getting all tired? So tiresome.
I don't like them pitting each of them off against each other. I just hate that.
It is, but I blame the Crown. You know, they can't have a private life anymore. The TV show, The Crown, I'm talking about. They've got to kind of take part in this pantomime now, and this is the way it's gone. So in a pantomime, you've got goodies and baddies, and that's just the way it is.
Well, about 30 years ago, the late Duke of Edinburgh, who was married to the late Queen, said to me, they're turning us into a soap opera. And so it has. It's like an episode of EastEnders. We have the good guys and we have the bad guys. The truth is, it's perfect. William and Catherine, we do genuinely love. They seem to be good guys. And of course, he wants to go and see his wife in hospital. That's quite totally normal. Yeah. And it's inevitable it's going to be photographed because they're the royal family.
It's kind of not his fault in a way.
It's normal. It's nice. It's what we want to see. Now, they've now turned Harry and Meghan into villains. I don't know why. The truth is they are living a different life in a different part of the world, getting on with their thing.
So unfair, though, isn't it?
It is
so,
unfair.
It's so horrible.
It is unfair.
I mean, I remember a time where Camilla was
vilified.
She was the evil one, wasn't she?
And if you're as old as me, you remember a time when Princess Margaret, who was the Queen's younger sister, was vilified because she was said to be having, you know, a relationship with an older man who was married at the time. What was going on? So this
and
is
Sarah Ferguson.
And
exactly. I remember all
that. That is the problem they've got now, though, is that because people have watched The Crown, they expect that from the royal family. And to stay relevant, they kind of have to take part in all this. And I know they might not like it, but that's just the way it is.
But I wouldn't be too hung up about this. William and Catherine, that's fine. We want him to show an interest, and of course he does, because he's a good dad and a good husband. Harry and Meghan, well, there they are, overseas. That will develop as it develops. We can't do much about that, except to move on, turn the page, move on.
And they can't also be held responsible for the way that journalists write about them. You know,
definitely.
It's so bad.
I think that's the story for me. It's like, you know, without meaning to, the press can write what they want, and we've got a free press. But it just seems pretty unedifying.
Well, at the end of the day, the reason the press write about them in this way is because people want to read about them. So it's not just a case of blaming the press or blaming the royal family. It's, you know, it's the readers as well.
Do you remember when they said that me and you don't get anything each other? We were like, what? It was just like, we found it hilarious. We was like, why are they doing that? Why do they pit people off against each other? They do it a lot with women as well. They pit a lot of women off. It's weird.
Well, everyone's got an opinion, haven't they?
Yeah. All right. Charles needs to stay with us.
Now, I'm not going to speculate on what's going on with Kate. She doesn't need to provide any details at all. But I find it very interesting that the couple didn't give the heads up to their royal aides who were planning the diary for the year ahead. And to me, this is a clear indication that they don't even trust their own staff to keep a secret. In any case, I really do hope that she makes a full recovery.
Leaves the nation reeling? What the hell kind of mess is this headline? Oh, Lord, I'm trying so hard to be good this year, but they keep drawing me in. Let's break it down. Why is the British press always exaggerating the royal family? I suspect that they are afraid that in the absence of the senior royals, the British public will finally see that the monarchy serves no real purpose, is a drain on our threadbare national resources, and utterly irrelevant to our existence. Look, in the absence of King Charles, Princess Kate, Prince William, the world hasn't come to an end. The economy hasn't collapsed, and people are still in the same mess. The nation isn't reeling from threadbare royal resources. Utter rubbish. Let me tell you what we're reeling from. We are reeling from a cost of living crisis, a broken down NHS system, poverty, systemic racism, culture wars, social injustice, Brexit, food banks, home shortages, homelessness, the incompetence of the Tory government, and that's just to name a few. From one human to another, I wish Princess Kate and King Charles a swift and speedy recovery. Get back on your feet and be in good health, like I would wish for anybody else. But no one, absolutely nobody, is reeling from the absence of whatever they call work. Or the fact that Prince William is doing what a husband should be doing and what a father should be doing. Come on now, please manage the exaggeration, okay? And do you know why no one is reeling from these threadbare royal resources, as the Daily Mail puts it? It's because they were never present in our lives in the first place. Hashtag just saying. Hey, look, don't hate the messenger, hate the truth.
Now, instead of focusing on the members of the royal family who aren't doing too well health-wise, the usual suspects are crying out for Harry and Meghan to make a public statement. Why? Why do they need to say anything? But let's just say, for argument's sake, that Harry and Meghan made personal contact with those family members. The reason why that information would not be revealed is because the public perception of the couple must be for them to seem uncaring and unsympathetic. Conversely, if they do make a public statement, they will be branded as insincere and attention-seeking. So they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. And while all of this is going on, Camilla is the one being left to run the firm. Does any of this make sense to you? Because none of it makes sense to me. Okay guys, so I don't have that much more to add, but if your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you shall catch me in the next video.